Welcome to sports, getting back on track. That's what the 83-64 win against San Jose State meant for the Lobos as they now move on to host Air Force. As was expected, Boise State ranked #1 in the Mountain West preseason poll along with San Diego State. But it was the unknown that was the topic of discussion at day one of Mountain West Media Day. Who will start at quarterback? Thanks, Jess. Yep, Durango was the first stop on this 5-city tour of southern Colorado. Thanks, Madeline. As you can see, the fans are still piling into the stadium as Lobos are gearing up to take on Abilene Christian in their home opener. So a lot of people think the bull riding lifestyle is a little crazy, going town to town, rodeo to rodeo, putting their life on the line.
Put here, right?
Yeah, let them know you're coming.
But they do it because the thrill is second to none.
That adrenaline rush leading up to it, I think, is mainly what hooks guys to it, because this sport's very addicting.
Woo! That was better.
You can't control what the bull's going to do, but you can control how you're going to counter-react and make the moves to do your job. It's hard to explain that adrenaline rush that you get. It really is.
Thanks, Alex. It was a big game for Lobo football today, taking on Air Force at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas. A win here would get them back to 500 on the year and better their chances at another 6-win season. We will start in the first quarter. Opening drive for the Lobos, and welcome back Terry Gibson in the second play of the opening drive. He goes 41 yards, setting up a touchdown. None other than Richard McCorley. Lobos go up 7, and the D stepped it up early, forcing an Air Force 49-yard field goal in their opening drive, making it 7-3. But later, more Lobos and more Terrion Gibson. Turn me up and turn me loose. The Gipper hits the hole and goes 60 yards on the option pitch for the touchdown. 14-3. The Lobos now lead. Let's switch classes now and take it to high school as Week 2 games wrapped up today. And yep, we will start in Class 6A. The Manzano Monarchs hosting Southern New Mexico rival Centennial at Wilson this afternoon. The Hawks brought the hammer, but Manzano would lay it down early. Monarchs opening drive, Jordan Bird off the play action, rolls to his left, and yep, hits a wide open Andrew Erickson. That would cap off the play with a 33-yard touchdown. Manzano takes the early 7-0 lead. Still in the first, and still more Monarchs. We saw that they could do it in the air, so they keep it on the ground this time. Keon Pringle breaks to the outside and finds the hole for the touch. 16 yards on the play as Manzano makes it 14-0. That was score at the end of the first, but Centennial would finally answer in the open of the second. Hector Bustamante scans, pans, and finds his man, Darren Rodriguez, in the end zone. Good for a 15-yard touchdown, but in the end it would be Manzano bettering to 2-0 on the season as you see them score again here, 42-21, the final. All right, to Community. Cibola hosting Las Cruces, and right away in the first quarter, Ivan Molina makes the cut to the inside and goes 40 yards, getting this one to the 1-yard line for Las Cruces. Peyton Ball then finishes the drive with a short punch in, making it 7-0 Dogs in the first quarter. Cibola would answer, though, in their following drive, 21 yards out. Quarterback Marcus Steele hooks up with Nathaniel Manzanares. He gets in the end zone for the score. That tied the game, but it would be short-lived. Cruces quarterback Peyton Ball comes out on his own and yet heads up the middle. He gone 47 yards for the touchdown, and the Dogs go on to run away with this one, 56-19 the final. They improved to 2-0 while my Cougars dropped to 0-2. Standout left-handed pitcher Ricky Apodaca is a senior at Sandia with a solid curve, slider, and a fastball that touches the low 90s.
If I'm on the mound, I can just take over myself. If we need that one strikeout to get it done, I know I can get it done.
A confident kid, Ricky is also humbled by this opportunity, as the Dream Series is more than just baseball. It coincides with Martin Luther King Jr. Day, looking to diversify the sport.
I'm representing New Mexico also for a great man who did something great for this country with the political change and just fighting for rights for blacks, and it's great. Ricky's ability on the mound obviously got him into this MLB Dream Series, but his talents as a two-way player is also getting him recognition. To be picked by a perfect game on a roster with kids around the world that play at top levels and to be put on it, it really means a lot.
8 months ago, the racing community here in Albuquerque took a major hit. One of their own was down for the count, but Josh Jackson's journey to where he is now is nothing short of a miracle.
Racers are notorious for not getting along. The competition and, a lot of things happen quickly on the track.
Joshua Jackson has been racing since he was 5 years old.
I've known Joshua since I was about 6 years old.
A gearhead with oil running through his veins.
We both started racing quarter midgets together.
And his drive and determination definitely showed out on the track.
We raced all over the country. A lot of racing in California. He won lots of races.
But on the 8th of August, at the Southern New Mexico Speedway in Las Cruces,
it was just a freak accident that I guess couldn't be avoided.
Josh's life would change forever.
Actually, what happened During the flip, a car hit it right on the top of the roll cage and hit his head with the front bumper.
Eerie feeling seeing somebody look lifeless in a race car.
Josh, involved in a bad crash while racing his sprint car, had sustained major injuries to his head, cracking a large portion of his skull.
I was still under the impression that everything was fine.
But it wasn't, as he was airlifted to the hospital in El Paso.
The neurosurgeon came in and he said,
He told us that there was not much.
we were told initially that he'd probably never walk again. He'd more than likely never talk again.
But the words give up are not in Josh's vocabulary. The 18-year-old left El Paso and began his rehabilitation at a hospital in Denver.
They just wouldn't take no for an answer. They made him perform.
Josh made huge strides, going from completely paralyzed on his right side to using his arms and even walking for the first time since the accident. But it was an unorthodox treatment that showed the most improvement.
Anytime we left the hospital, Mom, there's an indoor track. I know there is. And I'm like, Josh, no, that's not going to happen. I gave in and I said, okay, let's do this.
Josh now goes to the track whenever he can, doing something that just comes natural. But what he didn't know is that this journey is much bigger than it seems.
The entire racing community, no matter how competitive you are on the track, or if you had a beef the night before, that everybody just dropped everything to help Josh was amazing.
Josh's journey has influenced many lives.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But his story is still being written, with the next chapter being getting back in a real race car.
A year before I can fully do it, but I did.
It might be harder for Josh to get into a car, but one thing is for sure.
That was good.
While behind the wheel, all the odds are even, and Josh knows how to finish first. Welcome back. It's now time to get to Chester's Pick 6, the top 6 plays or players from the week. Number 6 comes from Santa Fe, but this one was all La Cueva. Chris Campbell hits Reese Wilkinson on the flat, and just like world-famous race car driver Ricky Bobby, Reese wants to go fast. 55 yards to the house, shake and bake. All right, to number 5, Nimmy's Gavin Maloney dumps off a pass to the Italian stallion Fausto Barazzini. And with the eye of the tiger, Fausto goes 59 yards up the gut for a touchdown. Talk about a haymaker to the body. You are not a bum rock. All right, for number 4, we take it to Thursday Night Valley's Isaiah Chavez finds Xavier Ortiz over the middle. He breaks a tackle, and Ortiz is dangerous. A man on a mission can't be stopped. He goes 64 yards to the house en route to the Vikings' first win of the season. Score one for the judge. All right, number 3 comes from Eastern New Mexico University's homecoming game last night. Logan native Wyatt Strand hits Aaron Johnson and released the Hounds. Johnson goes 80 yards before finding the point box. Go Greyhounds. All right, number 2 now from yesterday's Lobo game. Terrion Gibson returns from a week off in a big way. This 60-yard touchdown was the cherry on top of a 140-yard rushing day. The Gipper averaged 15 yards per carry, a key in this Lobo victory. And number 1 had to go to this kid, Albuquerque Academy's Charles Touche. He was a net-finding machine against Capital. Give him the hat trick after those 3 goals. Touche is now at a ridiculous 28 goals on the season. And also, congrats to him. The first number 1 spot from soccer this Pick 6 season.
I was going to say, a lot of football in there,
exactly.
But finally other football.
Exactly. European football.
The mood out here is definitely exciting. Free music, free food. Stay tuned at 10 as I'll have more from the players and the fans. And that time is now, Lobo fans, as they're about to kick off here in the next few minutes. But that'll do it for me for sports. Coming at you live from Dream Style Stadium, Jared Chester. Madeline, back to you.
All right, thank you so much, Jared.